My name is Mita Dimalanta. I'm a director of A Child's Dream Foundation Incorporated, and DREAM stands for Developmental Rehabilitative Early Assessment and Management. Our foundation started, we were incorporated with the Securities and Exchange Commission in 2003. But before that, 2 years before that, we started off by inviting the friends of my brother. My brother is Dr. Francis Xavier Dimalanta. He is a developmental and behavioral pediatrician in the Philippines. He is 18th out of 30, and he had been very fortunate to have been trained in 6 or 7 hospitals abroad. They all wanted to get him, but he said, my heart is in the Philippines, so he came back. And when he came back, he put up, instead of just putting up the foundation formally, he invited his friends who are occupational therapists, physical therapists, speech therapists, and SPED consultants from Manila, and we would invite them every summer to have their vacation in Baguio City, which is the summer capital of the Philippines. So we had so many volunteers, and we treated a lot of patients for free. And then the group became so big, they became 30, so it was difficult to house 30. So we said maybe we will not be doing this anymore. But the patients said, why don't you put up an organization and we'll be paying for therapy a minimal amount so that you can still have all these experts come up and treat our children. So this is why A Child's Dream was born. Oh, I thank the Balikbayan program and all of you who are with us, because these 3 days I found out that all the principles you have been teaching us about behavior of children and how to handle special children can be applied to any child or an adult who acts like a child as well. Secondly, your philosophy of integrating the activities of the special children, like what you have been doing in Canada, having the special children attend Taekwondo classes, is very commendable and inspiring. And we hope that we will be able to do something of that sort here, maybe for soccer or for any sport here in Baguio, because that would be a big help to all the special children. And we would, just as you have done, just call it a class who does soccer or a class who does Taekwondo. So that kind of integration is a vision that we look forward to, and we thank you for opening our eyes to that vision and for telling us that it can be possible. And since you pioneered that, our hats off to you, and we congratulate you and we thank you for that. My heart is overflowing with joy. As I mentioned earlier, the greatest commandment is love, and you have shown that. Thank you for coming. I thank the Balikbayan program and all of you for coming to Baguio, even when we had landslides and so many catastrophes. But you chose to come here and you chose our city. We'll be eternally grateful for that. We feel very happy. We feel happy. We feel that we are blessed with your presence, with your program, because we are all, let's say, as you mentioned in your teaching a man how to fish, families how to fish and not giving them how to fish, you're empowering families. You're telling all the families that we have in the center foundation to have a more active role in taking care of their child, versus the mentality of, oh, I have an hour off and I'm going to leave my kid with you. So it's so nice to have you reintroduce or advocate that, because we have seen how receptive, that's why we're very happy how receptive our parents and families were when you were advocating this. So how do we feel? We feel very happy. We're proud. We're happy you're Filipinos helping Filipinos. We're happy that you thought of this project, which touches on the heart of every child and every parent and everyone who attended this. And like a ripple in a pond, we know that your efforts will go and will be reaching out to so many people You have touched so many lives with your presence here, with your program, many lives and many hearts. And you're so passionate about the program. You're passionate about helping and empowering families. And for that, we are very grateful and thankful.
I'm Todd De Benito. I'm the father of a 7-year-old boy he's a high functioning autistic, and I work for a group of salons across northern Luzon. I would say that ever since Miguel was diagnosed with autism, my wife and I have been scouring the net and everything. I guess most of what you've said, we have mentioned in that talk, we have encountered in one time or another over the net. But then, what's very important is the way you synthesize everything, made it cohesive, and then made it applicable to our real life situation. You made it more concrete, and then we saw how we can apply it to our everyday lives. I'm so glad that you guys came along. It's because what really touched me was that you were doing this on your own, and then notwithstanding of what happened to Baguio recently, with all the news, with the place being in shambles, with landslides, mudslides, you still had the courage to come up. That's something I could not say about some persons. So I'm really very glad that you came here, and then you shared what you have with us. And hopefully by next year, there would be more people to join us in our little group.
I'm Kim Hyatt. We have an orphanage here in Baguio. My husband and I came as missionaries in 2004, so we've been here for 5 years. And we pastors a church, and we have an orphanage for neglected, abandoned, abused, and orphaned kids here in Probably behavioral issues, which is why I wanted to be here for this seminar, because we get kids that have been neglected completely. Some have been on the streets, some are runaways, some are actually have mental disabilities, physical disabilities. So learning how to deal with all those when that's not our profession, when we're not therapists and we're not trained necessarily in that. So, and just trying to teach them to become independent, productive members of society would be a great challenge. For me to see Filipinos, whether they are OFWs that return, whether they're Balikbayans, whatever, for them to put back into their community, not just financially, but to teach them how to use their resources, like the seminar that you're doing, not charging the people to learn these things, but to teach them that you can do these things, you can be a good parent, you can better yourself, your kids, your family, by taking these tools that you already have, and they will listen to you. They respect the fact that you hold a certain respect from them. So for you to come back and do that in any way, you see doctor groups coming, and you see, and it's one thing to come just give a service, but to train the people and to help them use their own resources in the long run is going to help them become strong again. Because what's torn it down, I think, is even though the heart was good of missionaries and military and Westerners, the heart was good to come and give and help the needy, then they become dependent on that. And then when that funding's gone, now what? How do we feed ourselves now? So, and that was something we had to learn too, because you just want to help all the needs. I mean, you see it, you see it in the dumps, you see it on the streets, it's so great, and you just want to give, but then you realize that's only helping them today, that's only helping them right now, and it's actually hurting them because it's teaching them to depend on that. My goal for these kids is not just to help them survive, but to teach them to love the one true God of the Bible, to teach them to have their own relationship with Him, and because life is short, but eternity is forever. So they need to settle their eternity while they're here on earth.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that and sharing of the gospel in your life
Well, thank you for you
with those
guys.
who need it, and sharing it with us, right? And sharing it with everybody who will be watching this. So I appreciate it. Is there anything else that's in your heart you want to say, or?
No, I really do thank you guys for coming and for being here, and I hope that you'll be able to continue to return and to empower the people of the Philippines to do what they can do with their own resources.
Okay, I'm Aina Bautista Rodas. I came here to a Child's Dream Foundation because I was invited by Tita Mita, and we also shared some things about art therapy in the last session. I had a child with special needs, and that's why I'm in special ed. And at this point, what is important to me is to be able to give back to others what I know, help parents and maybe their families and the children who have special needs. That the knowledge in behavior management is something that we need not only for the special children but for all the children, especially in the Philippines. And hopefully our teachers here could be equipped with that kind of knowledge also. So we would like to welcome you and come back to share your knowledge for more teachers so that they can implement it for the other children. I think your group is highly commendable. And I hope that everybody could be like you, thinking of coming back and sharing back to our people what you've learned outside, because a lot of what you know we really need also. Especially for parents, when the thought first hits us, or when the thought first hit me that I had a child with special needs, I really didn't know what to do. And I was at a loss on where to go, who to seek help from. And there was a point where I also felt helpless. But the thing is, we never get out. We can never find a solution if we stay in the rut of helplessness. So my message to the parents is that at the point of helplessness, seek help wherever you can find it. It could be a sister, your parent, or a friend, a very close friend if you're not comfortable with your family. And get someone to help you go find help. And help could come in different forms. It could be through social means, friendships, therapies. They could be incidental, like just being with people. Just don't stay in the rut, and everything will transform.